All set? All right. Happy Tuesday. I believe this class is not in again on Thursday because of a holiday, which means your next gymnastics class is going to be next Tuesday. All right. If you didn't see the whiteboard or notice the setup when you came in, we are doing gymnastics today, which is nice mention. Gymnastics is going to be a nice follow-up to our wrestling unit. They tie in nice to each other because some of the movements that we practice during wrestling are going to be the same or very similar to some movements we're going to be practicing in this unit. Okay? In wrestling, we're working on controlling our own body so that we can try to control somebody else's. In gymnastics, we're also working on controlling our body in several different ways. Okay? So it's a nice tie-in. There's some crossover between those two units. We talked about this a lot during your wrestling unit, and we're going to continue to. I'll give you a hint. It's on both of these walls over here, but who can remember what's one very important concept we've talked about over and over during that wrestling unit? If you didn't hear that, then let's demonstrate self-control. Very important during a unit like gymnastics. Can anybody think why, although it's always important, why it might be even more important to demonstrate good self-control in a unit like gymnastics? You can get hurt. We're going to be doing a lot of movements where if you're not in control of your body and in control of your behavior, you could hurt yourself or you could hurt somebody else. So for safety, it's very important that we demonstrate good self-control. Okay? Also, especially because you guys don't have class, hey guys, sit up for me. It's not that time. Because we don't have class on Thursday, we've got a lot to get through today. Okay? If you're not demonstrating good self-control when we're trying to transition between activities, we're going to waste a lot of time. We're not going to get to everything we need. Okay? We have some expectations for you beyond just demonstrating good self-control. We also expect you to try everything and do your best at everything. Gymnastics may not be your favorite unit, may not be your favorite sport. You may not be great at it yet, but all we're asking you to do is to try the best you can, to practice, and try to get a little bit better. That means listening to directions and doing your best at every movement, whether or not you enjoy it or whether or not you're very good at it yet. Hey buddy, it's the second time. Please sit. Okay, so we're expecting some good effort. Some reasons that we do a gymnastics unit, even if you're not a gymnast yourself or you're not planning to become a gymnast. There's a lot of things that we're going to work on and improve that are great for other sports and other activities as well. Does anyone have any ideas of things that we're going to work on and get better at in here that might be helpful for other sports or activities? Flexibility is a big one, for sure. We're going to be putting you in positions, you're going to be practicing moving in ways that are going to stretch your body, stretch different muscles, get you nice and loose and limber. Flexibility is very important. What's another one? Well, not really speed in terms of like building power and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what I'm thinking of. The one I was thinking of does begin with an S though. Did you say strong? Strength, yes. We're building full body strength. Okay, we're going to be asking you to move and hold your body in positions that use muscles that we might not get to use very much in other activities. Okay? Another is just general balance and body awareness, moving in space, being aware of how to control your body. Those three things, flexibility, strength, and body awareness, are going to be important whether you're a football player or a basketball player or a baseball player or a tennis player or a swimmer. Certainly if you do any cheerleading or any gymnastics, very important. Those are some of the reasons we do even like gymnastics. Okay? So we're going to move right into our first little bit of movement practice here, guys. Is there a group that would like to help me demonstrate how this is going to go? I saw a hand over there. Are you guys able to see group 9 from over there? What's your name? Taylor. So during our wrestling unit, when we practiced these movements, we went all the way down the mat to the other side as a group, and then we came all the way back as a group. But you guys can see today, the gym's divided in half with these cones here. What was it again? Taylor? So Taylor is going to demonstrate our first movement and then show us how we're going to get back and reset. Do you remember how to do bear crawl? Very good. Hands and feet, hips up high, knees not touching the ground. Taylor's going to get to the halfway point. She doesn't need to touch the mat. She doesn't need to touch the cone. She's going to step off the mat and walk back to her line. Why is it important to walk while we're wearing socks on hardwood?
Because you can slip and fall.
You can slip and fall. That would be demonstrating good self-control or good safety. When Taylor's not, what's your name, kiddo? That's all right. You don't need to go. I just wanted to know. What is it? Nippa? When Taylor's done, she steps off the mat. Then it would be Pippa's turn. So if we're waiting for the person in front of us to be off the mat, how many people should be on the mat at a time? One only. We'll see how well we do with that. Okay? First movement is going to be bear crawl. Hands and feet only, no knees. First person. Ready? Go. That's good. One time.
Are you?
One only. Alright? We all clear on that so far? Alright, if we're good, guys, let's start with bear crawl. First person each mat. Ready? Go. Is it running now?
Yeah, it is.
That is something we should be remembering from all of our units, but when the music stops, or you hear me blow a whistle, or you hear me say stop, what should we be doing? Where should we go? Good, right back to the end of our mat, sitting quietly. That's how I'll know you're ready to move on. Good. That was actually pretty good. Okay, next movement we're going to work on, guys, is crab walk. This is one we can work on either forwards with your feet first, you can go backwards with your head first, or you can try to go sideways. Does anybody think they have a really good crab walk who wants to demonstrate? Go ahead. That is perfect. Are her hands touching the ground? Really? Are her feet touching the ground?
Yeah.
Is her bottom touching the ground?
No.
Hands and feet only. That's right. Right? Front tap or sideways. Crab walk. Ready? Yep. Again, step out on the mat. Right now. Three, one. Into your mats, please. Quickly, quietly, safely. All right. Couple reminders, guys. One person in each group on the mat at a time. I've already seen a couple groups with 2 or 3 people on the mat. That's not safe, especially for some of the movements we're going to be working on later. Please make sure one at a time. Also, please make sure we're doing the movements that we've asked you to. We're going to get to some other more advanced stuff later on. So if this is a little bit easy for you, don't worry, it's coming. Okay, but make sure we're only doing bear crawl, crab walk, whatever we're doing next when we ask you to. You shouldn't be doing anything more advanced just yet. All right? Next movement is she goes, maybe she'll switch legs so we get to work on both sides. But that is perfect. 2 hands, 1 feet, 3-legged dog. Ready, go. Good. Next one is another animal movement. I don't think we did this one during your wrestling unit, but maybe it's a review for some of you. Who can demonstrate for me a great frog hop? Frog hop. Over here. That is excellent. Is she standing all the way up on every single jump, or is she staying nice and low to the ground? Staying nice and low to the ground. Frog hop. Ready. Go. Ladies, hands to ourselves, please. No. Thank you. Although everybody's ready when we are sitting on your ready. Not nap time, boys. Sit up for me. Thank you. All right, we've just done a couple animal movements. The next few things we're going to work on. I need an overview. The next few things we're working on are going to be rolls. They're not our front and back rolls just yet. We're going to do those in a little while. Does anybody remember any other kind of rolls that we've worked on before in the white right there? Pencil roll is one of them. You want to demonstrate for us? Good. Hands overhead like the tip of a pencil. We're keeping our legs together, body nice and tight, rolling on our side. And you roll off your mat. It's okay. Just get back on and finish. All right, don't roll on the hardwood though. Here we go. Pencil roll. Ready? Go.
I broke it!
Buddy. Okay? to be log roll. Who thinks I can demonstrate a great log roll for us? All right, right there, man. Log roll, not sure. Anybody else? Try it. Over here, take a 2 steps. Everybody see that? That is perfect. He's got his hands right in the side, like that in his pocket. He's staying nice and tight and rolling on the side. One at a time. Again, if you roll off the mat, just get back on and reset. Log roll. Ready? Go.
Good job, Ted.
Hand to your side, like you're in your pocket. There you go. That's it. Back to the end of our mat. This class is doing a pretty good job demonstrating self-control. I still see some groups who can't figure out one person at a time. And I see some people, when we're returning to our line, jumping over their team or their classmates or running back on the mat. Make sure we're off to the side so nobody trips over us or we don't trip over anybody else. Please and thank you. What's one more type of roll? Can anybody remember this next one? We're not going to do front or back just yet, but we are soon. We're on the right track. It's the different one. Egg roll. Can you show us an egg roll? Hug those knees in tight to your chest, rolling sideways. That is perfect. Egg roll. Ready? Go.
You okay? Guys, wait and go one at a time, okay?
All right, one at a time. I see 1, 2, 3 on the mat at one time. End of our mat, please. All right, Steve, we stopped quite a while ago. I'm not sure why we're still waiting. Thank you. All right, guys. These next couple skills, we're actually going to reorganize a little bit. So I'm going to have group number 5 be my demonstration group for how this is going to work. We'll see how well they can listen and follow directions, and we'll see if we can all do the same. Okay, you guys ready? Here's how it's going to go. Well, first of all, we're going to spread out. So you 2 ladies are going to spread out on your half of the mat. You 3 guys are going to spread out on your half of the mat. Okay? You can see on the walls here, guys, there's a sign that says east and a sign that says west, along with our rules. So if I say east and west, those are the directions I'm talking about. If we face east, we're looking this way. If we're sitting on the west side of our mat, it's that side, for example. So you guys are going to sit on the west side of your mat, so the far end over there, but you're going to face the east wall. Let's see if we can do that. Sit on the left side of your mat, but face the east wall. Close. You're on the right side of the mat, we're facing the wall. Perfect. Here's I want you guys spread out. All the way down. All the way down. That is perfect. The rest of us think we can do that? Quickly, quietly, safely. Please do the same. Spread out. So on the left side of your mat, face the east wall.
Guys, you're gonna sit basically on this muscle right here. Yep. Yep, you're gonna face the east wall.
They just need to be spread out.
Valentina right here.
Alright, so everybody should be on that side of the mat, but facing me this way. There we go. I saw a couple backs and heads there, but now we got it. Okay, the next couple things we're going to be working on are front and back rolls. We're going to start with front rolls. So this will be a little bit of review because we did work on these during the wrestling unit, but we're going to teach it in a little bit more detail, make sure we're doing it correctly and doing it safely as well. Okay? So this is one of those movements that we talked about at the beginning of class where if you're not being careful, if you're not listening to directions and following directions, you could hurt yourself. So I really want to make sure you're paying close attention and only doing what you're able to comfortably and exactly how we explain it. Make sense? Okay. So front roll, we're going to start, whether you're at a very advanced level or just starting out, there's going to be people in this class who've probably done a lot of front rolls in their life. You might have some cheerleaders, you might have some there's going to be other people who maybe haven't done a lot of front or back rolls, and we're at a lower level, we're just learning. That's fine too. So we're going to have ways for you guys to make things a little bit more challenging if you're already very good at these. We're also going to have ways for you to adjust it to make it a little bit easier if you're just getting into this, okay? But the general guidelines are the same for all of them. We're going to start from our frog squat position, which is one of the reasons we work on frog jumps in the beginning. You don't have to do it right now, you can just watch. We're going to have our hands out in front so that when I get into my roll, I can place those hands on the mat. All right. We're going to lift our hips behind us so we can roll over the top. But what's the most important thing I need to do with my head and with my chin? You want to tuck your head and chin as far as you can. We don't want to be putting any weight on your head or your neck. So you actually want to think about tucking your chin so much that you're trying to put your head between your feet. All right, and then we can use those hands to support a little bit of your weight as well. We don't want to put any weight on your head or neck. Okay, so we need to tuck. Another reason is that if I keep my head up and I start to roll, I can fall on my head as well. So we don't want to do any of those things. So tuck that chin nice and tight, hands down, lift the hips and roll over the front. Okay, now if you're not quite ready for that, you can also do a front shoulder roll, which is very similar. It starts the same way, but we put our head off to the side and we roll over our shoulder instead of straight over our head. Does anybody think they can demonstrate a great front roll? Either of those are fine. I saw a hand right here. Hands down, tuck, rolling forward, right over the top of the head. That was beautiful. Can anyone do a front shoulder roll, just so we can see what the other one looks like? Right there in the red. Kind of. That's a little bit more on your side. It's kind of an egg roll. That was actually a good back shoulder roll. Go ahead. That was straight over the top. Can anyone give me a front shoulder roll right here in the yellow? That's a little bit closer, yeah. Okay, it's just the same as the front roll, except instead of going straight over your head, tucking it down, you're going to move it to the side and roll over your shoulder. If you're able to go straight over your head, that's great. If we're still working on a front shoulder roll, that's perfectly fine. Okay? Right now, we're going to be on the west side of our mat facing east. You guys are going to stand up in a moment. And you're going to do your roll towards the east wall and then walk back to the west side of your mat and restart. Does that make sense? All right. In your own space, guys, being very safe, very careful. Front roll. Go ahead.
There's one right in here in the hallway, or you can go out there, but right just past the cafeteria.
Thank you.
Now push with your hips up. Oh, careful there. Make sure we really tuck that chin. Get that head all the way down between the feet. That's the right idea. If you're not able to do that one, just put your head to the side and roll over your shoulder. Side to your side to side. shoulder roll. Same thing, but move your head to the side. Roll up that shoulder. It's a good egg roll. We're only going forward, not backwards though. Try again. Hands down, head come out, but I want you to move your head to the side. We're going to roll over your shoulder. Put your head down. Other side though. Roll over this shoulder. There we go, that's pretty good. If that's all we can work on for right now, that's perfectly fine. Do a couple more of those. On your side of the house. That's pretty good. Make sure we're not putting any weight on the top of your head. I want you to tuck more so that we get your back and neck before we get on your head. Okay? Let's do one more. Tuck, 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 tuck. That's a little better. Good. No weight on your head or neck. Hey, yeah, I did. Back to your spot, guys. Right when we started on the west side of your mat. That's fine. Okay. For those of us, especially those of us who are a little bit simple, we've done a lot of forward rolls before, we're going to give you a chance to make it a little bit more difficult. We're going to start the same way. Okay, from your front position, hands down, head down, tuck your chin. We're going to lift those hips and roll. And now, as you roll, we're going to try to stand up without using your hands to push you up off the ground, if you're able to. Does anyone think they can demonstrate that? A front roll and then standing without using your hands to stand up? Front roll and up, that is perfect. If you are still working on a front shoulder roll, you can continue to practice that. That is totally fine. But if, what's your name? Evelyn, if you can do a roll like Evelyn and stand up without your hands, try that for the next minute or two here, okay? Forward rolls, guys, go ahead.
Right here. There we go, that's better. Now you guys have your space.
You too, right over here. All right, guys, so you can face me if you don't have to stare at the east wall for this one. We just did front roll. What do you think's coming next? Back roll, you got it. Okay, back roll and front roll are going to be very similar, except for going opposite direction, obviously. But we start the same way. We start with our frog squat. We have our hands up. We have our chin tucked. But now instead of rolling forward and putting those hands down in front, we're going to roll backwards and put those hands down kind of next to our ears so they hit the ground behind our head. Okay? Does anybody think they can demonstrate a really great back roll for the class? Right there. Frog squat, hands up. Ooh, that's a bit of a shoulder roll. That's perfectly fine though. See how she turned her head to the side and rolled over her shoulder? That's great. Or did you do one straight over the top? Very good. Hands up. Tuck chin. Roll back, extend your legs, that is excellent. If you're still working on a back shoulder roll, that's fine. Hey guys, nobody should be moving yet. If you think you can get your hands down and actually push yourself up to your feet, if you've been doing this for a while, that's fine too. Any level you're working at is great, as long as we're practicing, okay? Now guys, we're starting on the west side of our mat. We're going to be facing the west wall and rolling toward the east side of our mat before we walk back to the east side. Okay, so we're rolling in that direction. Here we go. Backwards roll. Ready? Go. I want you to do the shoulder roll like we did before. Instead of trying to go all the way up. Ready? This time we're gonna roll up with this shoulder. Ready? That's it. That's all we're gonna do. You can do it. That's it. That's perfect. That's a back shoulder roll. Try that one more time. That was perfect. You got it. Stand here. You can't back shoulder roll. Great back shoulder roll. Careful, make sure we're not putting it in your All right, guys, we're going to quickly go back to the ends of our mats where we started class today. Back to the ends of the mats. Yeah, we've got two more important skills to get to, and I really want to get to them because you guys don't have class on Thursday. So your next gymnastics class is going to be next Tuesday. I want to make sure we're caught up on the other classes as well. Next movement is going to be a cartwheel. Can anybody please demonstrate? A cartwheel for us. That's our hand over there in the corner. Step, hand, foot. That is excellent. Okay, the difference between cartwheel and roundoff is that we're going to do your feet separate. So that was perfect. That was hand first, then hand, leg, then foot. Now, listen please, guys. If I'm not able, to get my feet all the way up and over the top, is it okay if I do this? Hand, foot. That's okay, right? If I just need to hop my feet over. So again, if you're able to get your feet all the way over the top like they're touching the ceiling, that's great. If you need to go hand and hop those feet over, that's fine too. All right? This one is very important that we give your classmates space. We need to make sure it's just one at a time so nobody gets hurt. All right? Cartwheel, first person. Ready? Come on. Very nice over here. Can you do a round off? You want to demonstrate our round off next? Beautiful. One hand down on the other, and then knock your feet over. 1, 2. Yes. Drop your feet. There you go. That's all we're looking for today. That's all we can do.
That's it, Valentino. That was your best one yet.
How we doing over here, guys? Good. Perfect. Make sure your teammates are out of the way now. Alright. That's not how we're getting back. That's kind of a shoulder roll there. See if we can get those feet to land without falling. Hand, jump those feet over. Closer. Get those feet back down so you can let it out. End of your match, please. Quickly, quietly, safely. very similar to our cartwheel, except instead of your feet landing separate one after the other, they're going to land together. All right? Also, you're going to change direction a little bit while you're doing your round-off. So if I start my round-off facing this wall, the north wall, where do we think I'm going to be facing when I finish my round-off? The south wall. Eva, would you like to demonstrate a round-off for us? Hand, feet together. You're going to do that one more time so people can see where your eyes are when you start and when you finish. Facing the north wall, hand, feet together. She finishes facing the south wall, okay? Just like before, listen. Just like before, is it okay if I go hand, feet? That is okay if that's all we can do today, okay? Here we go, round off, ready, go. Jump those feet up a little higher. Doesn't have to be over the top. Excellent, very nice. Guys, I'm going to give you a couple minutes here, because we have a few minutes before we have to get shoes on and line up. A few minutes to get creative and try to work on stringing a few of the movements we've done so far today together, one after the other. So I could do a cartwheel into a front roll, into a bear crawl, or I could do a back roll into a crab walk, into another back roll, or whatever you feel like doing. Try to do 2 or 3 in a row. And if you're somebody who has a gymnastics or a cheerleading background and you want to try a couple things maybe we haven't done today, as long as you can do them safely, now's the time, and make sure you've got plenty of space and we're doing all those things safely, okay? So you got a couple minutes here, guys. Pick a few movements, try to do them right in a row without stopping, and then give the next person a turn. We'll spend a few minutes on it. Hey, go ahead. Whatever we've done today, whatever you want to try. You guys do not have classes Thursday because the holiday. The next time you're in will be next Tuesday. We'll be reviewing some of this stuff and then working on some more advanced movements as well. I would say this class did a pretty good job of demonstrating self-control today. I think we can do an even better job next Tuesday to maybe get a little bit more. Please make sure when we go get our shoes, we're quick, quiet, and safe. No running, no flipping, no rolling, no cartwheels, no roundhouse. Walking over, shoes on, getting in line. All right? Nice job today, guys. Go ahead. Please be quiet, just be safe.